And we're back for part 3 of my puppet collection overview. A bit sooner than I might have originally thought, but with this recent tidal wave of new dinosaurs being added, I figure it's as good a time as any for another update. Today, we'll be focusing on these 6, which I got back in November. I did also get this Ceratosaurus puppet, but it already got its own review, so it's gonna sit this one out. Sorry, buddy. So despite numbering 6, these ones here actually consisted of only 3 separate purchases. This Triceratops, that Triceratops, and then the rest, which all came together in a pack. Let's start with the Trikes, shall we? They were the first ones I bought out of these. Up first is the darker horn Triceratops, which really looks nice. I mean, the texture alone is just mind-blowing. They went above and beyond here. Look at the face. Wow, it looks like genuine reptilian skin. The only area that doesn't really look good is this section of the neck where we see the manufacturer's logo. Something I think could have easily been put on the inside, but it could have been worse. Material-wise, I think this Trike nails it. It's soft enough to where I can move the jaws well, but also hard enough to keep itself in its proper shape. Can you imagine if these horns flopped around like this? Ha! Couldn't be me. Yeah, the other one is perhaps not quite as durable. Its material is noticeably thinner, lighter, and softer than that of the dark horn Triceratops. It does feel better to operate, and maybe with this added flexibility there's a bit more potential for expressive movements. But there is a risk of it looking sort of boneless, and again, the horns suffer for it. Though maybe there's a way to secure those horns with a few wire armatures or even a pair of wooden sticks, and voila. That issue aside, I do like the color of the light horn Triceratops more, with the variation between lights and darks creating a cool pattern. And the details are also about equal. I also appreciate the fact that it has a longer neck, making it easier to frame in my films. Both puppets have their pros and cons, and in the end, I think they balance out to be more or less on par with each other. I wouldn't say I really prefer one over the other. Alright, now on to the toothy ones. Going in order from worst to best, I would probably have to start with the T-Rex. And why is it my least favorite? Well, first off, those eyes. They just look weird, like too big or too cutesy or something. I can't be the only one who thinks this, right? It's got these friendly puppy dog eyes. If we compare to the Puppet Toys T-Rex, we see the difference immediately. And the other thing I'm not really a fan of with this puppet is the paint job. All the other ones have some nice looking gradient with colors that harmonize well together. Red, orange, brown, white, pink, blue. That all looks great. But this just looks like the base gray of the plastic with a few random splotches of orange and dark green thrown on at the last second. I don't think the green shows up well enough, and the orange is just too sparse. It's also weird they recycled it for the tongue. Imagine having rings around your eyes the color of your tongue. But alright, let's give Rex a break here. The sculpt and texture at least look fine, and the material hardness is at that same sweet spot the dark horn Triceratops found. Moving on to a puppet I consider slightly better, here's this fella. Now, I have no idea what it's supposed to be. It kinda just seems the designer entirely made this thing up, and even the product listing only gives it the blanket term Carnosaur. It could be a grossly disfigured Carnosaurus, given the horns, but I personally like the idea of coming up with a whole new species to call it. Xenops is what I came up with, a name meaning strange face. Which I thought was pretty funny, because I mean look at this guy. The overbite, the googly eyes. Though apparently, as I later found out, there's already some bird called Xenops, so thanks for spoiling my fun, ornithologists. My Xenops has a way stranger face than that. Texture and details are slightly inferior to the Rex as we no longer see many individual scales, but at least the colors seem like they had more effort put in. And the eyes may look bizarre, but honestly, I'll still take that over the puppy eyes. One fun detail is that you can move the tongue around. Next, let's take a look at the Dilophosaurus, which has a much brighter and funkier color scheme that I think is pretty nice. Structurally, this puppet is quite similar to the Xenops, sharing that same overbite, spiked neck, movable tongue, and skin details that look about the same. What makes the Dilo better in my opinion is the fact that its eyes actually look normal, plus the flashier color scheme and the more recognizable design. Looking at the Xenops, you just get confused as to what it is, but looking at this, it's very clear what it's supposed to be. See folks, this is a Dilophosaurus. Not this. I think they did a good job capturing the look of this animal. The long narrow skull, the upper jaw curving down just a bit, and of course, those majestic crests. Alright, that leaves one more, my favorite of the 4 carnivores, Allosaurus. Looking much as it did with the full body variant, only now with a darker color scheme and far superior material, giving it much greater flexibility. I just love these teeth. They are huge and menacing looking. The last two had these sort of weirdly fat, rounded teeth, but not Allosaurus. This is what you want the teeth to look like on your dinosaur puppet. I think the eyes are also the best of the carnivores 4, achieving the same realism the Rex had while also looking decidedly less cute. I think it's because you can see the whites of the eyes more. In terms of the puppet's overall design, I don't have any major qualms. The detail is there, it looks the least toy-like, the volcanic looking color scheme works, and it's the most comfortable for me to operate. Solid puppet. These have all been fun additions to the collection. If I had to pick favorites, I'd say the Triceratops twins win out all in all, because the quality of their designs is just in a whole nother league. They also have solid color schemes that play it safe with browns and blacks, unlike some of the more experimental carnivores which can be pretty hit or miss. But hey, our toothy friends are great too in their own ways. The T-Rex recycles the excellent puppet toy sculpt, the Xenops is fantastically weird, the Dilophosaurus is colorful, and the Allosaurus nails the scary look. All 4 utilize materials at just the correct softness, something that could have been improved in one of the Trikes. I hope you've enjoyed this overview. The collection is looking pretty large right about now, and I'm not even sure I'll have room for more in the foreseeable future. But of course, we shall see. For now, I'm happy with where things are. This is Great Nate 98 signing off. Have a good day.